My second deal in the industry
Ever.
was with a company called Tempo Computers, who needed 8 acres. And they were in the process of being purchased by GTE. And it was getting toward crunch time because, as you know, when you start the business, you don't have any money coming in unless you do a deal.
Right.
And so they tell me that where they want the land, that they're working with other brokers, and that the GTE representative has come into town to review their alternatives. They tell me where I get into the deal late. And Jack Feeney, a legend that I didn't know at the time in the industry, the head of the GTE real estate department, which included about 5 deal makers, headquartered in Massachusetts, comes into town, and I do my research. I come up with some sites that weren't on their list. I drive him around when I...
You get Jack in the car?
I get Jack in the car. I drive him around. He recognizes immediately that I am a rookie and doesn't know Jack, and but he's nice. We talk sports, but the only thing I could talk.
Right.
And he's a big sports fan, and so we hit it off in that regard. He likes my property, which is not 8 acres, but 24 acres, 3 8-acre parcels. So he says, I'd like to negotiate on it with the owner. I said, great. I call the owner up, well-known guy, Stanford grad. We go out to his house.
With Jack, the 3 of you now.
He meets us at his house in Placentia in September, and it's like 100 degrees. He's got one of these old houses with a porch on the outside. As we're going in, Jack says to me, Bill, I'd like to meet with him alone. Do you mind if you stay here?
On the porch.
On the porch. For a 45-minute meeting. I'm on the porch, and it's about
Sweating.
100. Sweating, big time. Interior and exterior. And so...
and this is an important deal to you because it's your second deal. It's a big 8 acres.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Big deal. She comes out with a smile, gets in the car. We made the deal. He says, well, I'm buying 8 and I'm optioning 16. And I'm just, my heart's going so fast. I'm just thinking about what the commission's going to be and how I'm going to be able to pay my mortgage and all this stuff. So the point being, I suffered through the embarrassment of not being invited into the meeting. Right, big embarrassment. And the recognition that I wasn't invited because I had nothing to offer. I didn't have any value.
You couldn't add value.
And which was something else we should talk about. Anyway, but the point is, so I make the deal. Now, I realize at the time, and this is, I'm working in the Anaheim-Fullerton area, and there's a lot of rail land there, and I'm realizing that most of the land is owned by companies, and most of the companies that own the land are on the East Coast. So at that time, they have Allegheny Airlines. This is in early 70s. Allegheny Airlines had a Liberty Fair, and so you could buy an airline ticket from Allegheny for 2 weeks. You could fly anywhere on their line for $250 if you get back on the airplane before 2 o'clock the next day. And so I go out and I contact all the firms, including GTE. Jack brings me into the office and he introduces me to all his deal makers, all of whom over the next year transition into other companies and over the next 5 or 6 years.
So you have 4 leads to 4, and they all become really, because he's training them up. He's like a college basketball coach's assistant.
Jack went on to be the real estate director for Bose. Frank Harvey goes on to become the real estate director for Stanley Works. Kent Hollowell goes on to work for Cabot, and Forbes, and so on. And I ended up making, because I knew sports and because I was willing to sit on the porch, I probably make 30 deals over the next 30 years in real estate with all these guys, including a deal with the Stanley Works, who has a national real estate contract with CBRE. But Frank Harvey did maybe 15 deals with me because I'm the only guy he would do business with in Southern California. He calls me up and he says, Bill, we have to sell this facility in Pomona. And we have to sell it by quarters in so that we can write it off. I'm talking to Darla and I'm talking to you. and what's it worth, and what can you sell it for given that period of time, less than 90 days. And so I go in there and I meet with him after he's given me the parameters, and I tell him what I can sell it for, and he says, Darla says she can sell it for more. And I said, well, Jack, I'm the buyer, and I'm putting this deal together in general partnership, and I'm not going to back out on you, and I'm not going to change the deal on you because you'd never do business with me again. Now, I'm not saying Darla's client's going to back out on you or change the deal on you, but I'm saying it's a definite possibility. And he did my deal. And not only did he do my deal, he financed the building for me.
Oh, and you were the buyer.
And I was the buyer. And I told him I couldn't finance it on a short term. He only wanted a 1-year lease back. And I said I wouldn't be able to finance it during that period of time. And the period of time given the time he had to effect the close. And so these deals happen like that based on relationships that you build over a period of time.